Hey, what's going on, guys? Mixway here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a Izzet control deck for standard best of one. So this deck is sort of a mix between a Dimir Draw deck and a Izzet Flash deck. It runs a bunch of board clears, removal, counter magic, and card draw, along with having a lot of DFCs. So we can run a really high land count and still always have spells to cast. So in the deck, we run 27 land. We have 19 normal lands, which two of them are crawling barrens to pump our mana into, and the other nine are the smashing, removal spell, or bolt land, the hazard, which just is a ping or tap land, and the disruption, which can be a pretty powerful counterspell if your opponent's tapping out for an ultimatum, a dance of the manse, or just to throw them a curveball if they're trying to play on curve. Haha, puns. I'm sorry. All right, moving on, we have Essence Scatter, pretty good against aggressive matchups, counter the opponent's Annex, even in less aggressive things like counter the opponent's Yorion or Skyclave Apparition. Negate, I always love Negate. Even in Best of One right now, I feel like every deck is running important spells you need to counter. So two Negates. If you are finding that this card kills you more than it helps you, put it more Essence Scatter or just more straight removal. Getting into that, we have Cinderclasm, which is kind of a 3-drop, so we can put it here. We're going to want to kick it most of the time for a 3-mana board clear for cheap creatures like Rogues minus the Thought Thief. Pretty much their whole board gets clipped by a 2-mana Cinderclasm. And yeah, I've been having a lot of great success with this card. Just two, you don't want to see it in mid-range or controlling matchups. Fire Prophecy and Dragonfire, 2-2 split. This has the advantage of exiling the creature that you kill, and this has the advantage of kind of cycling a card. So you can run 4 of 1 if you have a preference. I don't mind the 2-2 split. Annex is a pet peeve, so Dragonfire deals with that a bit better. But if you're flooding or trying to find a more specific answer, like a Storm's Wrath, Fire Prophecy can be the better card. We got Mazemind Tome, great against aggro, gains you life, great against control, draws you cards. You guys know the Tome. We already covered the smashing. So we'll get to the Midnight Clock. This is really powerful against rogues. Once we get it down, it's almost impossible for them to remove, and it can reshuffle our library. If not, it can be a ramp artifact if we're not under pressure, and a way to basically go infinite. Well, not infinite, but make our deck 120 cards, which is pretty powerful. Brazen Borrower, it's pretty cheeky, just the one. It's a bounce spell or a 3-1 that we can pick our opponent with. Not too bad. Neutralize and Thos' Intervention. If you have a preference, you can just up one or the other. I like having the split. I like being able to draw cards, and this gives me that option. And I don't love cycling Neutralize. It always feels kind of bad. So I'd prefer if we had a counterspell like Sabotage in Standard right now, where you can add a Surveil to it. But the cycling is always helpful. So 2-2 is pretty good. Bone Crusher Giant, kill a thing, play with body, pretty good. Soul Seer, you need an answer to Lovestroke Beast, and it also clips Ashiok. If it only even if it minuses, it clips Ashiok. Same as the Dragonfire. It can finish off an Ugin that's ultimated. Not a bad card. Storm's Wrath, just 3 because we have so much early interaction for creatures, but we still might be run over. So against any aggressive thing, Storm's Wrath is great, clears the board. Against Dimir, wipes out Ashiok, hopefully, and any tokens it's generated, for sure. Win cons, we got Shark Typhoon. You can start slamming this if you feel really confident, and if not, just cycle. Make some big sharks go over the top. If you were always hitting our land drops, which we're trying to do with a 27 land deck, then the sharks can get pretty large pretty quickly. And the final Cure Best of Sea God, as more of a fun inclusion, some decks can't deal with the 8-8 Hexproof Kraken, and they lose after this card's played just because everything gets tapped and you can take a permanent. It's a really powerful card that can also be a win con, so yeah. The mana base, we got 4-4 split between islands and mountains, as our mana is pretty even, and the double cost things are like Smashing, which is also a land, and the Wrath. Castle, great land. We don't need the red one to pump the whole team. There's nothing to pump really. Pathway, obviously, double mana source. Temple, double mana source. You can run Trial if you really want to, but I prefer the Scry right here in this deck. and 2 Barons as an alternate win con that you can just pump your mana into. If the opponent's not running something like Eliminate, this can be really hard to deal with. So yeah, guys, this is the list. I've had a fair amount of success with it. So yeah, it will be in the description down below, and let's get into some games. Alright, yeah, hand seems good. This is a 3-lander, which is kind of jokes. Although I will keep untapped land, like basic lands pretty much. We also don't run Fabled Passage in the deck because we don't have room for that. We don't have enough basics, or I mean, we do actually have enough basics, but we don't have a tight enough mana base. Okay, I mean, okay, not tight enough mana base, but what I'm looking for is like, we have such a flexible mana base that we don't have the room for it. Jesus, I'm like a fucking idiot. Alright, we'll just play this a pass. Opponent has cucked us out of our blue source, or if we want, we can just pay mana for it. Remorse. Sure. What you taking? Probably Thassa's Intervention. Our hand is built pretty good against mono black control, which is what I assume this is. Alright, Shark. Interesting. I mean, we have a bunch of, like the Counterspell and the Shark are good, along with the other Tome. Alright, nice. Ooh, interesting. This comes into play tapped right now. So we'll go here. Play out another Tome, and pass. Just trying to hit land drops. Draw a card. And yeah, no need to draw anymore. Untap land. Your go. These tomes are going to go a very long way in this match. Okay, yeah, we'll just draw some cards. All the way. Negate. Great one. Yeah, more land is fine too. Alright. You have to be careful. We might have to discard, and we don't really want to discard on end step. Clackbridge Troll. No. I think the opponent expected that to get countered. I don't want to draw 2 because then I'll be exceeding hand size. Or will I be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Play a land. Yeah, we will be. So we'll just pump the Barons. No need to go crazy. Play out some land and pass. We'll just make our Barons really huge and eventually take over the game with that. Double counterspell, so feeling really secure. Alright. Decline. Oh, we don't have enough mana for that. Sorry. But we can still draw off this. My turn. Alright, going to need to discard to hand. Just play out a land and say go. Solemn. Yeah, Solemn is whatever. Gives me something to stomp, and it sure gives the opponent another card. But I kind of want to start emptying my hand out. So we can go for it. And they might have an Eliminate, which would not be ideal. But honestly, I might just counter and Eliminate. Sure. Draw here. More counter spells. Very good. Pump the Barons. Say go. Okay. Land. And we'll play with the Bone Crusher Giant. That's it. I'm in no rush. I can put the opponent on a 2-turn clock starting next turn with the Barons. So we can just hold up all the counter magic we need. I probably should have tapped the less red sources and just Nightmare. Do I care about that? I mean, it's going to be annoying, so I might as well, well, negate. Yeah, let's neutralize this. it's like the same equivalent of them taking a counterspell from my hand. But then they get to see everything I have, which isn't ideal. Draw some more cards. My turn. Alright, so we'll play this on here. Tap for a neutral. I'll tap more red. I'll just hold up the 1. And make the Barons 8/8. So this is a 2-turn clock. Because next turn to animate it, I need to put 2 more counters into it. Eliminate. I thought that might be the case. So how much does this go for? I think we just counter here. Take out the opponent's answer and hope they don't have another one. While still holding up neutralize. In this spot, the neutralize is way better than the intervention because me and the opponent are still building up really large mana supplies. But Double Tome really got me through this matchup. Nightmare. That's so cool. Okay. 7/7. If I pay 1, they can pay 2. If I counter this, I mean, they kind of have to chump block, so I guess it's whatever. Sure, Nightmare resolves. Awesome card. I haven't seen this played on Arena ever, and that's game. So yeah, it doesn't really matter because next turn we just animated the Barons again, and the opponent has to chump block, and then we just kill them a turn later with much more mana. Okay, I mean, hand is fairly straightforward, and we are going to need more land, but it does the thing alright. And of course, the matchup where I draw no removal is the game against mono red. That's hilarious. Alright, let's get those upkeep stops, eh? And try to use these Thassa interventions as 3 mana counter spells. Robber. Ooh, Furor. Okay. Interesting. Scorching Dragonfire is great. This is the second red source, which we need. We also need another blue source, so Baron's not looking great. Alright, we'll play it on blue first to hold up the intervention. And yeah, we really have to start getting to that Wrath. Alright, so we counter that. That's pretty clear. And I'll put a stop after we get bonked by the 3/3. Alright. Smashing. Sure. Ooh. I'm in combat right now. Let me just get out of combat. I messed up the zoning. So we'll play this on red and hold up Shark / intervention / tome draw. But we're gonna hold on to this in case we need to bolt in. Alright, there's an annex, so we will counter that up. Love how this is bluffing up a Spikefield Hazard. Okay. Scry again. It's not painful red, but actually, that's a fine draw. So I think I just put this tapped and Brazen Burrower the Fervent Champion. Because I feel really bad just Storm's Wrathing 1 creature. Because we have so many 3 damage cards in the deck, and we're about to find them, so. Yeah, what you got? 5th land into attack can be cleave, so if they play a 5th land, I'm just going to bounce the Fervent Champion pre-combat. And that is 100% an Evercleave. There is absolutely no other reason why they would bolt that in. especially pre-combat. Alright, you can play the champion again. And we'll see if the opponent wants to load up the board. Nope. Happy to sit on their one champion. Another Storm's Wrath, interesting. And Bone Crusher Giant. So I actually think that's what we go with. Just go for the Stomp. And I mean, well, it's not great with the Storm's Wraths in hand, but I don't think cycling a Shark for one is great either. So I'll play out the Giant. Maybe it'll eat burn removal. Maybe it'll... okay, Giant goes face. Maybe it'll just roadblock something else at the opponent's. Soul Seer. I'm pretty sure the opponent still has Cleave. Let's attack. Okay. And to wrath the board or to not wrath the board? I think we hold back for a minute. Don't let them go to combat. Take out the Bone Crusher Giant now. This thing is hit me for 4, by the way. Crazy card. Does this resolve? Do they have some weird combat trick? Double Infuriate? Oh man, can you imagine? And they're really thinking about this Soul Seer. By the way, not sure if I mentioned, suited up the card style last game. Felt good. Rimrock Knight, yeah, can't block. Easy. I actually hate that I have to Storm's Wrath this, because if not, they get to cleave me. Alright, so we'll get it for 4. And we do have to stop missing these land drops. We'll keep bluffing the... I mean, actually we can't even bluff the hazard. Doesn't matter. Alright. First Wrath. Trying to land in this whole sequence would have been ideal so I can have the tome down. Hard cast Cleave. Easy read on the opponent. Okay. Play out the tome, go. Now we're going to need to answer every single creature because they can equip it with Cleave, and that's pretty much lethal. Okay. Opponent starts off strong. Pathway, another tome. I mean, I'll draw first to see if I draw, I guess, Soul Seer. Nope. Alright, suit up the tokens, I guess. Fire Prophecy, sure, that's not bad. Castle Emberth is really bad here. Yep. Hit me for 5. Okay. Maybe the play is just Big Shark. I think we wait. I think I blow something up and draw some cards. I'll take this out pre-combat because if they have another cleave and they wanted to put it on the other one like during combat, then it would decrease it would save them a mana. Like if they have another cleave, yep. All right. So resolve. Attach to damage. So I'm dead to a Bone Crusher Giant. Do you have it? I'll start with this. Actually, we'll start with this one. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, so I'm taking this Scry immediately, because they would have Bone Crushed me if they had it. Cinderclass. Alright. Keep. And I guess we'll pass. Jeez, what a weird game. Annex. No. Annex cannot resolve, no thank you. And we'll make a 3/3. For now. Take that trade. And 1 point of damage. Also scry with the Tobe just to get closer to the life gain. Mountain's fine. You'll make a bigger shark when the time comes. I'm not slamming these, by the way. This is tempting as it is. And that's the game. Alright. Opponent was also at 9, so we have a 2-turn clock after that. Feels good, guys. Played around Cleave pretty well. No blue source. A lot better. Let's drop off the Soul Seer. We have the removal of the Dragonfire. Alright, I'll say it is fine. Temple neutralize. I think that's also fine. Against mono white, that could actually be important. Alright, Daxos. Let's go. I could have taken it out right there. I want to see what the opponent does. Selfless Savior. Let's try to take out the Daxos now, see if the opponent wants to spend any mana on it. Maybe that was the play, but I also want to hold up Negate. Like, maybe the play was blowing that up on my turn so they couldn't protect. But I never feel super pressured by mono white. Unless they have a Heliod on the board. Their creatures, they don't have like that huge burst of damage like mono red does with the Cleave. Luris. This is counter. Maybe we just go for the neutralize. Yeah, let's go for the neutralize. That value engine would have gotten really annoying. I do have to find a way to deal with the Barons because eventually that will kill me. And not being in black means you don't have access to cards like Eliminate. Okay. Storm's Wrath is interesting. We don't cast it there because the dog just protects Daxos. Let's ambush block the dog. They haven't had Heliod up till now, so if they have it now, it came off the top. And it means my Wraths can be good, as in they don't get immediately protected. Nice. Okay, so we eat the dog. And take a little bump from Daxos. These lands with abilities concern me. But that's really helpful. Alright, so we'll play this on blue. And play out the Tome. Hold up Counter Magic and Tome Draw. If the opponent doesn't play anything, we just block the Daxos. Alright, and it has become Baron's pumping time. So they need a land to actually animate the Barons. But until then, like, it's a little sketchy. I guess we just need a whole lot of burn removal to take care of it. Casket. I'm actually gonna say no to that. It increases devotion for the Daxos and lets him get a free attack in. I'll Sade, okay. Alright. Opponent still has the 1 mana to put into the Alseid. So it's whatever, we'll take 2 here. And if they're using their mana, they can't pump the Barons. That's interesting. I think we chill on it though, we can play it later. Let's draw a card. See if we hit a land. Which we haven't found in a second, so we might. Shark Typhoon, not exactly what I was talking about, but eventually that can get pretty big. That might be one of the ways we take out the Barons, just with a massive ambush block. The opponent's also constrained on mana, they haven't hit a land in a couple turns. So the intervention might be able to hit something for 1. Sure. So to Shark Typhoon or to not Shark Typhoon? I don't think so. Alright, there was the land. Now we can make a 4/4 Shark at instant speed, so that's pretty good. And there goes the Barons, which will be a 6/6 if they animate it, and very problematic. Okay, they still don't find another land. And I think I'm pretty happy to throw this in front of the Daxos. Is that my 3rd shark? 1, 2. It's my 2nd. Alright, pro blue. Good timing. So we don't get to ambush block it. Disruption, interesting. Sorry. Okay. Apparition will take the... nope. Look how they tried to target the shark. Can't do that. Don't need island right now. So I can Wrath here, but that's not exactly what we're looking to do. Like, it's not ideal. I can also just hold back and draw some cards. I think we're playing out the tome regardless of what we do. Then I can put this on red. And yeah, we'll pass. If they draw a land and animate the Barons, we're going to want to double block it. Yep. Alright, what you got? Now they have a decision to make. Do they cast the spell they have in their hand, or do they animate the Barons that potentially just gets attacked into... sorry, blocked by these. Speaker. Okay. I mean, Speaker can't do anything right now, so... Alright. We'll draw here. Hazard. I mean, that's also fine. We'll go for that. I could have just Wrath that whole board, but I'm happy to hazard it. Sure, free scry. Neutralize. I don't think that's great right now. I mean, nah. So it's 2 Typhoons. I actually think I'm looking for a third one, just a hard cast. And we're gonna play this as defensively as we can until then. Alright, there's the Barons getting bigger. So now we have to block it if they animate it. Attack in with it. Alright, let's see what we hit off this. Spike Field Hazard. Feels bad, man. Because that could have been... That's 4, 5, 6, 7 right here. Alright. So I guess we're just chumping the Barons. Feels bad. And let's draw some cards. We'll go for 3. Just look for more options. Okay. Yes and yes. Alright. Shark down. Ruins played. Your go. Alright. So, I don't think they can remove that, but we're still definitely not stable in this game. Their Barons can become a 10-10, which, let's do some combat math really quick. Can we take that out? And let's see what they attack with first of all. So 2. If I Bone Crusher this, I get 2 damage. It goes to 8. Minus 4 is 4. Minus 2. Not quite enough. But if we go... Ooh, hold on. Let's actually just go here. Take out the Apparition. Get another 2-2. Use that to chump this and eat Daxos. Not bad. Do I need a scry? Not yet. Alright. We'll play the Ruins because I want to be able to activate this whenever I can. And we'll get in there. As we can create a Shark at instant speed. And just play out Bone Daddy and pass. Alright. So, sort of offensive / defensive Shark Typhoon. Really annoying thing, Brazen Borrower says target non-land permanent. So, and there's a Legion Angel. Alright. Legion Angel resolves. Can get another card. Alright, so Spikefield Hazard. Clip the Aspirant. Make a Shark. Let's draw first. Negate, interesting. And we'll toss this back to the opponent's hand. Our own Barons, not bad. Alright, start by drawing. I want to see how many blockers I have to leave back. Alright, don't have to leave back any blockers. Just go all in. Don't have to leave back blockers because I have a spell I can cast regardless of if they play anything. Like, I have the negate, but if they don't cast on creature spell, I can't make a Shark. Whereas I could just go face with a Bone Crusher Giant and have a Shark to block the Barons. Or even if I didn't, I could just animate mine, but that's a lot more mana intensive. Yep. So we go here. Try to get off that. Pass the blockers. Chump the 12-12. And that's game. Whew. Yeah, we did it, boys. Hard Cash Shark Typhoon. Alright guys, and we are back. So this deck had a pretty successful run. I won, I think, 4 out of the 5 of my games that I played just now. Only lost to Esper Doom, which was because the opponent had 3 Omens of the Sea and I didn't have a counterspell for their Yorion, and they just snowballed card advantage from there. But yeah, this is a really fun sort of control flash deck. If you guys have the cards, I definitely recommend it. It's kind of like a mid-expensive deck. Like, all the interactions relatively cheap, right? This is a rare, this is a rare. The creatures are rare and mythic. You guys know how the adventure creatures are. You probably have them by now. You don't need to craft this. That's fine. And the Shark Typhoons are rare. So, I don't know, sort of like a mid-cost-ish deck that's fairly competitive. And if this is your style, I'd say give it a go. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, guys, the deck list will be in the description down below. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're enjoying these decks. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, everybody. Peace out.